Hey folks, I'm just going through some old newspapers here. See what's going on in the world. Wow. There's a sale of panties. Sadly, I don't go there. I'm not a clothing store kind of guy. Although I do find some different types of clothing that are pretty cool. Especially ones with superhero symbols on them. Well, that looks good. A restaurant. Too bad this thing doesn't have an obituary. But you know, I think I seem to remember seeing a horror movie, and it involves a newspaper. What the heck? How about I just review it? Let me toss this sucker away. Welcome for another Asian month. So, mushy mushy. And today's movie I'm going to review for you, this one is really different. Very good. And this Japanese movie I'm going to review for you today is Premonition. Now, Premonition is not like any other horror movie. Japanese horror movie, that is. This one doesn't have a ghost coming after people, and no kung fu, and no Godzilla or Gamera. Can't stress enough. It always says here on the box, if you see it, you will die. Somebody in a hurry. This movie is unlike anything you've ever seen. This one is about a father. Him and his wife were driving down the country area, while at the same time he was trying to contact his online business through the computer. And as it turns out, while he was trying to upload his computer to make sure that that he'll download all the information into his company, he goes to the payphone to do it. That was something I never seen. A payphone that has Wi-Fi so you can download anything. Pretty cool if you ask me. Too bad payphones are now a thing of the past. This movie was made in 2004, 1 year before I graduated. In this Premonition, what it's about, this father goes to the payphone to download some of his work to his company. And then from out of nowhere, in the payphone, he found an old piece of newspaper. And what it said, that his daughter, Nana, yeah, that's her name, Nana, her daughter, Nana, is going to die. And he was wondering, what the heck is this? Some kind of joke or something? And as it shows that his daughter, Nana, got her dress caught on the seatbelt. And the mother tries her best to remove her dress from the seatbelt buckle. So she gets out of the car and calls him for help. And as he walked up, turns out there was this huge truck drove by, and the driver was passed out. And it hit the car, and his daughter was fine, But it turns out there was a gas leak going. And then, boom. Just, the guy's little girl died. And after 12 years later, they both got divorced, and the guy, he was working as a school teacher, and he avoided all newspapers because after when he saw that newspaper was supposed to tell him about his daughter, he stayed away to any newspapers, especially ones with obituaries, because they're driving him crazy. And then from out of nowhere, one of his students starts writing an obituary of somebody who has to die soon. A knife-wielding maniac who killed 5 people. And the guy thought this was some kind of joke or something. But as it turns out, it happened. There was a knife-wielding maniac who killed about 5 people. Well, at the same time, his ex-wife, she starts working into people who are psychics, you know, can see any kind of premonition or something. And she's with this old lady. Her premonition is that she has this Polaroid camera. You know, those old-fashioned cameras where you take a picture and the picture comes out in a white frame. Way before digital cameras were made. Yeah, I know, I'm old, so shut up. Anyway, she taped the lens of that Polaroid and always stares right in front of the Polaroid. And then when she takes the picture, shows the Eiffel Tower. Somehow she's kind of linked to the Polaroid camera, that whatever she thinks of can appear in a Polaroid picture. And the old lady starts telling the woman, the ex-wife, that she'll be back to her husband soon. Well, at the same time, the guy kept having nightmares. And then all of a sudden, he starts finding the newspaper, and he meets this girl who is sick and tired of having these premonitions, these newspapers popping everywhere, giving her messages about the future of people's death. And then after that, he found a newspaper where it had her picture in it and talking about her premonition, that the knife-wielding maniac will kill her. So, what he did, he stands in the middle of the street as the newspaper said what it's gonna be held at, and then he heard a scream, and he found the girl, and he found the knife-wielding maniac going all But the guy took down that knife-wielding maniac, and he checked on the girl. Turns out, she's already dead. She got stabbed in the chest. And he wished he would have saved her. And then it brought him together with his ex-wife, and kept on noticing these strange things keeps happening. And it's all because of those newspaper who keeps popping up out of nowhere. And then here's a shocker. The ex-wife, she found the old lady who takes Polaroid pictures. She's dead. And she had a death grip on one of the Polaroid pictures that she took before she died. And as she removed that Polaroid picture out of her hand, she found a picture. It looks like a piece of newspaper, and it has the guy's face on it. Hmm. So, that's why she decided to go back to her ex-husband. And of course, there was a guy who kept having premonition himself, and he kept getting old so quick. And he's like 13. And they went to his jail cell, and there were writings on the wall and everywhere. And then, when he mentioned about the newspaper to his ex-wife, she had a feeling there was another guy who had a premonition like that involving newspapers. So they went to his house, and it looks like it was empty, but he had stacks of VHSs. And it turns out that he was videotaping himself talking about every single thing he did. But here's the catch. Every time when he changed history, he kept showing his arm, and they keep coming out in gray, ash-looking spots all over. And I guess every single time when he's changing everybody's history, everybody's destiny, he always looks like he's covered with ashes. And as they were about ready to find his body, they went to his bathroom, and they found a huge pile of ashes. It turns out that every time when he changes history, he starts turning into ashes. So suddenly, him and his ex-wife, they spend the night together, and it was time. His ex-wife has to go somewhere, a business trip. So she has to go to a train. And as he was sitting down relaxing, out of nowhere, he found a newspaper. And it starts talking about a train accident that killed over about hundreds of people. A horrible train accident. And his wife's name was in it. Was in the accident. So he quickly dialed her number, but sadly her cell phone was in the car. And while she was waiting for the train, she was looking through her bag, see where her phone is at. So he quickly took a taxi all the way to the train station, and then he finally grabbed his ex-wife and pulled her out and said he had a vision, had a premonition. And then they saw his wife's best friend in there, just drove away. The next day, the accident did happen, so now there's a funeral with his ex-wife's best friend lying in the coffin. Now, here's a thing I also learned about the Japanese. I mean, in most Japanese films I've seen in funerals, people always wear all white in funerals. Unlike here in America, we always wear all black. But this is the first Japanese movie I've seen where now everybody's wearing black now. Call me tradition, but I like to be more traditional. Anyway, oh, and another thing I also discovered in Japan, unlike our funerals where they have this one coffin lid open on the top side and not the bottom side so we can see their face, but in Japanese coffin, they have a little door open so you can just see their face but nowhere else. And the mother looked at her dead daughter, saying that her face is just ripped up into pieces. Horrible. And then after that, the strange thing happened. The guy just went into the past. And he didn't know where he's at. And he was in the time where after his wife died, after his daughter died and his wife didn't get over it, and the cut that she had on this area was fresh. It wasn't healed. And she said, "I wish you should go back and bring her back." And then he went to some kind of nexus area where he keeps meeting people who died. The girl, the woman, and the old man. And saying that if you keep doing like this, you'll be going straight to hell for changing history. Somehow. Or be in an area where it's between heaven and hell, where it's unknown. So what is he saying? Like purgatory? I don't believe in that. Anyway, this time he finally did it. He went back into the past where his daughter was alive, in the phone booth. He quickly grabbed his wife and tell her to stay on the other side of the road. But as she got up and walked towards him, the truck ran over her instead of his daughter. And then he did it again, and this time a truck ran right towards him, his wife, and his daughter, all together. So he went back again, and this time he's going to right the wrong this time. The only way for this whole premonition to stop, he needs to sacrifice himself. So, he quickly grabbed his wife, put her on the other side of the road and tell her to stay there, no matter what. And he ran towards his daughter and tried to get that buckle is stuck to her dress, and he finally got the buckle out. And then, boom! There's that truck. Thank goodness nobody ain't running over me. Anyway. Oh, where was I? Oh, yeah. The truck finally showed up and it hit him and the girl. But he's fine and so is the girl. And as his wife ran towards him, he said, "Here, grab her. Get her out of here now." And she said, "I don't want to leave you." And he said, "Just go!" And then it happened. The wife finally got him out, and she got the daughter out and ran away from the burning car, and he finally died. She screamed in sadness, but he did it. He sacrificed himself in order to end the prestige. The premonition, I mean. Not prestige. I always get that confused. Premonition. Or so we thought. Because the daughter woke up and started seeing a newspaper flying around, and it showed her father's face on the newspaper. Go away! Shut up! Sorry about that. So, I gotta say, Premonition's not bad. It's pretty spooky, pretty scary. And there is something about the woman who plays the ex-wife right here. This actress right here. For those of you who don't know her, her name is Noriko Sakae. Noriko Sakae. And any of you are going to be asking me, who is she? She's a pop diva. That's right. She's a pop star. And I was kind of surprised because she didn't look like a pop star when she starred in this movie. But I was surprised. I guess the fame of a pop diva in Japan is way different than the pop diva here. And she's a really good actress. Heck, I even heard about an actor who is a rock star and he starred in an Asian horror movie. And involves a woman who is... No, I don't have a clock in my head! Ooh! Prestige, I gotta say, it's a really good movie. It's not bad. But this is just a starter. But my next review this Sunday, it's gonna be something magical. And it's all gonna happen in India. I'm gonna review a Bollywood version of Harry Potter. So I'm out of this white shirt and into a wizard. Well, Wizard of Oz. So, stay tuned, folks. Now let's see, what else is in this paper? Oh, and there's a sale at the Gap, too. Toodaloo, and arigato.